One of the reasons that psychological identity theft by a narcissist or a psychopath is so disturbing and unnerving is because they try to copy and emulate you while at the same time trying to simultaneously, enviously devalue you. They can try to mimic your words, your mannerisms, your habits, your gestures to try to gain access to your natural, organic popularity and clout. Clout that they would often have to pay for, bribe, blackmail others to get, or to present themselves as a person who they are not, wear a false mask in order to get, because they don't have the natural talent, they don't have the natural abilities, the skill sets, they don't have the natural appearance, they don't have the natural charisma, whatever traits and qualities of positive strengths that you have, they don't organically possess them. So the next best thing that they can do is try to emulate someone and try to copy and mirror someone who naturally embodies those positive strengths and traits. Both psychopaths and narcissists can experience malicious envy. They go out of their way to try to sabotage you, to try to siphon your energy and efforts and reputation and the work that you do in this world in order to attach themselves to your name, your natural popularity, your natural talents, your raw talents and abilities. A envious female narcissist, for example, tries to mimic how you dress, what clothes you wear, how you do your hair, what hair color you have. They try to adopt your style. They try to become you and they try to morph into you. It is very much like those movies like Single White Female, right? Or The Roommate, where they will try to possess the identity that you have organically built throughout the years, and it just comes natural to you. But for them, they are just wearing a persona, they're wearing a false mask, and they are trying to mimic whatever can give them profit, have access to the resources that you have, to try to at times even try to make money off of the things that you introduced, right? So for example, these are the types of people who in business will commit copyright infringement, trademark violations. They will try to steal ideas from other businesses or other individuals, entrepreneurs, and they will try to pass it off as their own. But unfortunately for them, it comes across as very hollow, especially if the original is presented and people can see that the original came first. Then the copycat looks like a very hollow person who has no identity outside of stealing from others. And another very disturbing thing that narcissists and psychopaths can do is if the narcissist in question is actually a male who is jealous of you and you're a woman, is that they will get other women around them to try to mimic you, right? To morph into you. So I've heard things like male narcissists asking the woman that they're with, the new partner, to adopt the baby name that you chose for your future children, or the same wedding venue, or dates, taking her to the same date venue, things like that. They may in a business setting try to steal your projects or ideas and ask the women around them to, and this can happen with both men and women, but for example, ask the women around them, their coworkers, to try to mimic and siphon off of your efforts and what you have presented to the world and try to rewrite that as if it was their own, what it wasn't. That becomes very clear, comes across the original, because the original has been there for years. And these copycats or plagiarists are now trying to siphon off of the things that you accomplished and achieved without doing any kind of inner work on their part, without having any of the creativity or the talents or the skills or the knowledge or the hard-earned wisdom that you have. Now, it's really important advertising too, right? So you will see like a competitive narcissist try to put ads under perhaps your products, promote the copycat, because they can't get any traction on their own. So they need to siphon off the energy and efforts and reputation of your products, and try to associate themselves with your and efforts and reputation of your products, and try to associate themselves with your name in some way, because they can't accomplish things otherwise. you'll notice that before they started copying you, they had no kind of traction, but only after they started trying to adopt your work, even though they had been perhaps speaking out against it before, saying like, oh, narcissists don't even exist, blah, blah, all this stuff. Just an example is that suddenly they have a little bit more traction just because they're trying to take on your identity, and you are the one with the original natural clout. Now, it's really important that if you're experiencing psychological identity theft or even theft of your creative output or projects, that you do explore legal actions and make sure that you get paid, because that is illegal to try to profit off someone else's work. You're experiencing this on an identity level, and maybe it doesn't have to do with your work. You also have to make sure that you focus on yourself, because the more energy you give to the copycat individual, the more to feed off your energy and efforts in order to try to uplift themselves. And the only person that you want to be uplifting is yourself. You want to put the center and the focus all on you, so that nobody can ever try to benefit from what you've built and who you are as a person, because there's only one you in this world, and they are irreplaceable. Copycats will always be exposed in the long run and will be exposed for who they actually are, which are frauds, whereas you are the original, and people know that you're established and you already have your identity. So remember how pathetic someone has to be in order to try to embody natural gifts that they don't possess, in order to try to inhabit a personality that they don't possess, and in order to try to punish and sabotage someone that they're so threatened of. They're envious people, have anything naturally, except for stealing from others.